Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Fall Recruitment Event for Lindner Business Honors. We are thrilled to have you all here tonight. We hope you all are doing well during this time, and we realize that this is a different way to do everything this year, but we hope you're excited to learn tonight about all the Lindner Business Honors programs, and so you have some kind of idea of what we're going to see. I want to kind of show you a little bit of an agenda. We're going to do a welcome from our Dean Marianne W, who I will introduce here in just a second. We're going to have 5 students speaking tonight about each of our 5 pillars for Lindner and talking to you about their experience, why they picked the Lindner College of Business to study in, why business, and to talk to you about maybe some of our experiential learning and things like that. So that'll be really exciting to see our current students back. Happy first day of classes, students. We're going to then switch over to our 3 Business Honors Programs Directors, and you're going to hear from each of them to explain a little bit about what each of the programs are about, and you'll be able to ask questions along the way. We'll end kind of with an admissions overview and timeline about what next steps look like, when you need to get your application in, and all those kinds of questions that you're probably asking yourself. And I just want to bring your attention that we do have the Q&A feature going in WebEx, so feel free to ask questions along the way. We are going to hold those probably until the end, but make sure to ask them because my colleague Matt Keaton has agreed to stand and kind of man that post. So thanks to Matt for doing that tonight. But that's kind of a little bit of an overview about what we're going to do tonight. So with that, I want to introduce you to the Dean of our college, Marianne W.
Thank you so much, Ashley, and it's a pleasure to be here with everyone. As the Dean, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you a little bit more about Lindner from a big picture perspective. To us, you're here because we see your extraordinary potential. And tonight's an opportunity to learn more about us and your potential fit at Lindner. And at our school, our higher purpose is really very clear. At Lindner, we empower problem solvers to tackle the world's challenges. And we do this through a unique and powerful combination of academic and hands-on learning experiences designed to fuel your growth. Now, when I say unique, I know that that's a rather bold term, so let me just introduce myself a little bit further and explain why I know this to be true. I started as Dean at Lindner last summer. Prior to coming to Lindner, I was Dean of an international business school in London for 4 years, and I served on the boards of the 2 major business school accrediting bodies. I spent a lot of time at business schools around the world. And before going to London, I was at Lindner for 18 years. I was a faculty, I was associate dean, I was an honors program director, and I am the mother of an honors graduate. When I was in London, I really had an epiphany. The more I studied and learned and visited schools, business schools around the world, the more I realized how truly unique and remarkable the combination of distinctions at Lindner really are. So tonight I want to tell you a little bit about our 5 interwoven distinctions, and better yet, after me, you're going to hear from students to share their experiences of those distinctions. So let's go through the 5. The first is experiential learning. We know that experience matters. We founded Co-op. We are the #1 public university for co-op and internships. Co-op stands for cooperative education. What that means is you don't just have summer internships. We partner with our employers. We partner with our study abroad universities. Those partnerships help us learn together how better to support you and how rapidly the business world is changing. The second distinction is our flexibility. Learning is very personal. You need options. Something you may not know about UC is we're among a handful of schools, and I literally mean a handful, as in less than 5, in terms of the variety of majors and minors we have. You can stack these, you can explore over 402 programs at UC. Really, the opportunities are endless, and it's up to you to find your passion and how to turn it into a career. And we'll talk a bit about how we help you do that. The third distinction is our problem-solving mindset. I don't say that lightly. Problem solving means building your toolkit, knowing your capabilities, also developing your confidence to use them. Business is a remarkably powerful problem solving tool or set of tools, whether you're in finance or marketing or accounting or analytics or the list goes on. you can make a remarkable difference in the world through business. And we help you explore how to do that through projects and programs in the classroom, but also far outside of the classroom with our partners. The fourth distinction is our Lindner community. It is inclusive, it is collaborative. Since March, when we went through a lockdown, and I think many others just realized how powerful and tight that community was to be there for each other, supporting our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, our employers. Working together, everybody thrives. And the last distinction is our vibrant urban setting. Cincinnati is a remarkable backyard. It sits in this beautiful in-between. We're not in a cornfield, and we're not in a metropolis like a London or New York, which are fantastic cities, but are so big you don't necessarily feel part of that ecosystem. Cincinnati is also distinctive because we have actually more Fortune 500s per capita than any city in the US, and also one of the top entrepreneurial ecosystems. So that blend of small and large and different industries means there are a tremendous variety of partners and employers for us to choose from as starting points for you, wherever your career and your learning opportunities should take you. So those 5 distinctions: experiential learning and co-op, the flexibility of our pathways, our Lindner community, our problem-solving mindset, and our Cincinnati home are a tremendous mix, and they're available to all students at Lindner. Now, you might then ask, so what's so special about honors? Well, to me and to all of us on this call, honors is really where we experiment, where we innovate. It's where we take opportunities for problem solving and we put them on steroids, because we know honor students are seeking the challenge. We know they'll rise to the occasion, and as we learn and develop new opportunities, we scale them for the rest of the college. So if there's a place you want to go to be challenged, to explore, to find your way, this is how we put it together for you, and with a tremendous support team of academic advisors and career coaches. So I hope tonight you will enjoy, you'll ask questions. I'm thrilled that next you get to meet some of our students because they've lived this experience. They'll tell it to you, warts and all, and it's wonderful to have them here. So enjoy, and thank you, Ashley, for inviting me tonight.
Thank you, Marianne, so much. We really appreciate it. So the thing that everyone always asks us are, can you share student experiences, and what does that look like? And so we've asked 5 of our students to join us tonight, and we are very thankful that on the first day of class, the first person up has been up since about 4 a.m. and was on the local news this morning. But I'd like to ask Abigail Armstrong to talk about experiential learning and what that means to her.
Thanks, Ashley. Hi, everyone. I just want to start with a short introduction. My name is Abigail Armstrong, and I'm a 4th year in Collegiate Business Scholars, and I'm pretty involved on campus, and I also had a few co-ops. My first co-op was at Fifth Third Bank, and then I worked for Delta Airlines, and after that, I went to Ernst & Young, and then I decided to do a co-op abroad at Brand Finance in Singapore, and then my last and most current co-op was actually with Microsoft. So coming into UC and just going through choosing schools, what stuck out to me was the co-op program. But what I didn't realize about the co-op at UC was just the whole experiential learning aspect. And I didn't realize how many co-ops I would end up doing, and that I would end up co-oping in different states and also in a different country. And not only was I doing these co-ops in really different places and experiencing different industries that I was interested in, but I also got to study abroad and just have my experience widened by getting to take classes and participate in various different lengths of study abroad opportunities. But what I really love about experiential learning is just that I really got to test drive everything that I came into college interested in, but didn't really know a ton about. Like, I came in as a finance major and also an international business major and switched many, many times. And a lot of those I wouldn't have figured out if I hadn't have had these experiences. And really getting into a real work place, and just trying out what I've been studying and getting that experience has made all the difference in my college career. And what really makes all of us stand out here at Lindner is the amount of experiences that we have that are so unique. It can really start as young as you want. I started my freshman year after, following my freshman year, that following summer was when I had my first experience. And I know that kind of just opened up the door for many more opportunities to come. And I'm really proud to say that through that experience, I ended up landing at my dream company in the end. So all in all, experiential learning has really shaped my whole entire college experience. And it's funny, looking back on it now as a fourth year, I had no idea that I would do this many co-ops or even just fit all of this in such a short amount of time. But I'm really proud to have gone through it all and don't have any regrets about choosing Lindner. So thank you all for listening.
Thanks, Abigail. So now that you've heard from Abigail about experiential learning, you really get to see how much more beyond the classroom Lindner really is. And so one of the things that we need to do in order to do all of these different things that Abigail discussed is have flexibility in our programming. And so we've asked Ayan to come and talk about his experience and what that looks like in the realm of flexibility. So Ayan?
Hello everyone, this is Ayan Ashmul, currently a third year student at the College of Business and an international student from India. Right now I'm majoring in Industrial Management, Information Systems and International Business with minors in Marketing and Finance and a certificate in Family Business Management and Business Law. Apart from that, I'm involved with the Undergraduate Student Government and Alpha Kappa Psi, which is a professional business fraternity on campus. So, how do I do it all? Good question. Phenomenal question. Right now, I would say a little bit of the credit would go to my time management, but a majority of the credit goes to the staff and the faculty of the university and the College of Business. Because here at UC, and especially at the College of Business, they recognize that everyone's different and they are willing to work with you and go the extra step to make sure you get what you need to excel in your college life. Not just academically, but professionally, personally, in any aspect. I can assure you, I am a perfect example of this. Because while coming in, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. At that time, I chose information systems as my major because it just seemed logical then. But after I was here, I found myself in my advisor's office 3 to 4 times a month trying to figure out how can I add more majors, like the things I wanted to do, and how can I make the schedule work. And she was always willing to work with me and understand why I wanted to do things, and she made sure I got the best of my college experience. She was always very flexible and understanding and helping me out. She spent a lot of time helping me make my schedule and make sure I can get things done in the right way. And that's just one example of my advisor. There are countless examples of such similar help that I've gotten throughout my journey so far. Another example I could say is this past summer I was supposed to go on a study abroad trip. The study abroad trip did not happen, but if it was to happen, the dates were clashing with some of my summer classes. So I reached out to all my professors and explained them I was going on this trip and it was really important to me and why was it important. And all of them were more than willing to work with me to make sure I can finish my classes a little bit early and go on the trip. And that's another example of how flexible the staff and the faculty is for the College of Business. All you have to do is just reach out to people and ask for help. And I can assure you, nobody is gonna say no to you. Everyone's more than willing to help you out in any situation and work with you one-on-one to make sure you reach your best potential. And that was my journey so far. You're gonna have your own journey, which may look like mine or it can be completely different, but it's all okay because College of Business and the faculty, staff, everybody in this university and the college is gonna really recognize this fact that your journey may be completely different than mine and still help you out and make sure you have the best of your college experience. Thank you for listening to me. Have a good day and stay safe.
Thank you, Ayan. So next up, we really have to think about who supports all of the students that are doing different things within the college. And so one of the things that we think about is the whole entire Lindner community. And so how can students get involved in different things? How can they test what they want to do? How can they meet more people? And so I've asked Mathias to come and talk to us about what that looks like for him. So Mathias, would you like to start?
Yep. Thank you very much. Hey, what's up, everyone? Thank you all for coming out tonight. This is very exciting as ambassadors seeing the new class of prospective students come around. My name is Mathias Morita, and I am a second-year Lindner Honors Plus student, majoring in finance, and hopefully I'll be getting my master's in business analytics. So today I'll be talking about the community aspect of the Lindner Honors programs and why it's so important. Through Lindner, I've gotten very involved in different clubs and organizations, such as Lindner Student Association, which is known as LSA, Lindner Ambassadors, and Business Fellows. So LSA serves as the internal governing body of Lindner, and I had the awesome opportunity to serve as senator on the exec board and represent Lindner in Student Government Senate. Lindner Ambassadors helps out the Lindner admissions team through various projects such as honors interviews, tours, presentations, and more. The Business Fellows community is dedicated to supporting African American, Hispanic, Latino, and Native American students by providing access to a network of resources and opportunities, and ultimately a small and friendly home within the large college. I've met some of my closest friends to this day through my freshman year Business Fellows class in our Toronto, Canada trip, where we got to travel there and learn about various companies, such as a few local startups, PNC, and Ernst & Young, which is where I'm working currently. Speaking of Business Fellows, they work closely with the Office of Inclusive Excellence in Lindner. The Office of Inclusive Excellence manages programs like Business Fellows, Lindner Women in Business, and Pride at Lindner. Aside from these great clubs in Lindner, I wanted to talk about the community aspect of the Lindner Honors programs, which I think separates Lindner from a lot of other business schools. A large majority of my closest friends that I've made through college are in the Lindner Honors programs. We all lived together as part of our learning community in Morgan's, which was the time of my life. Living with these people in Morgan's was a blast. We had movie nights together all the time, woke each other up for classes. We had Friendsgiving together and helped each other with classes and more. Finally, what I think is the coolest part of the Lindner Business Honors program is the vast network you are tapped into. Lindner Business Honors has been a program that has been around for a while, and so as the years progress, the network gets bigger. I can't tell you guys how many times I've called up an older LHP student for advice on an organization or a co-op. These are people who have been extremely involved in clubs and who have gotten insane co-ops in incredible locations. And it's like everyone likes to help out, so never be afraid to reach out. The various clubs in Lindner, the honors programs, and the people that make this college of 5,000 students make it seem small and give it a family feeling, which is awesome. And so yeah, that's basically my little spiel on the honors programs here. Thank you all for coming out, and yeah.
Thank you so much, Mathias. We appreciate it. So when we think about building future problem solvers, we have to really figure out how does a student do that? And so when you're 18 and you're coming into college, what does that look like and how do you really build that up? So we've asked Grace Kesters to come and talk to you a little bit about her experience and how building a future problem solver fits in with hers.
Thanks, Ashley. Hi, everyone. Like Ashley said, my name is Grace Kesters. I'm a second year here at Lindner. There's a bit more detail about me on the slide, but I just wanted to use my time to tell you a little bit more about my story. I was pretty much born and raised a Bearcat. My dad's an alum, and my sister is actually going to be graduating from Lindner in the spring, so I was pretty excited to see what all the hype was about. And I can honestly tell you that choosing UC was the best decision I've ever made. and not for the cliche reasons like the friends that I made or the clubs I joined, but specifically because of how hard the faculty and staff work to make sure their students are prepared for what comes next. Just as you all will soon do, I began my classes in what Lindner calls the first year experience. I'm not sure how much you've heard about this. You'll probably hear a lot more about it in the future, but essentially it's a series of projects that force you to work collaboratively with other students and businesses in the area and create solutions. During my very first semester, I was able to work with Chick-fil-A for Right in order to perform a SWOT analysis and provide them with strategic recommendations on how to improve their business. I also worked with Nehemiah Manufacturing in order to help them solve a little problem they were having with their inventory. During my second semester, I worked with a different group of students in order to perform an IQE pitch, which essentially we created an entire business plan from scratch. My team and I pretty much ended up pitching an idea for a reverse vending machine with the hopes of making it easier to recycle on campus and incentivize students to do so. Even outside of the curriculum, I problem solved when, like many other students, my plans for the summer got changed last minute. I was supposed to be with Great American Insurance Group, which ended up getting canceled due to COVID, but I reached out to a couple of my professors during the first year and my career coach, and they were really able to provide me with different resources and allowed me to find ways to still make use of my time and use my time to my advantage this summer. If these past 12 months have taught me anything, it's that we need to be prepared for everything. Whether it's a small technical glitch or a worldwide pandemic, we need to be able to adapt and keep pushing forward. Luckily, the Lindner College of Business has been doing this all along. As a business community, we're focused on finding new, innovative solutions to problems that might not even exist yet. Building the future problem solvers of the world is not just one of the pillars we're going to talk about today, but it's one of our strengths as a school, and it's something you'll use every day as a student here and every day in your professional careers. As a second-year student, I already recognize the importance of being able to solve problems, and I'm excited to see what might come next. I wish you all the best of luck as you begin your journey, and I can't wait to see what you all accomplish.
Thank you so much, Grace. That was great. So the last pillar we're going to talk about with our current students is why is it important to be in an urban setting like the city of Cincinnati? And so I've asked Brian Kemper to come talk a little bit about his experience as someone that is later on a little bit. So he's doing an MS program. And so we've asked him to come share kind of the total looking back on his experience at Cincinnati and why it's been important to be in the city. Brian?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Brian Kemper. Thanks, Ashley. Just like she said, I'm a fifth year right now, so I'm doing my Master's of Science right now in Finance. So I've done 4 years of undergrad at UC and I've loved it so much, I guess, that I stayed around to do my Master's here for a fifth year. So the big pillar that, I was kind of picked to talk about was the city of Cincinnati, kind of what that means. So throughout my high school career, I really kind of wanted to go out of town. So sorry, I was born and raised right here in town. And I wanted to find, a city that was exciting, had a lot of energy, and was just a good place to be. And, and I didn't think that I could find that here, right in Cincinnati. So anyway, I ended up going here to college, ended up loving it, buying in, getting really involved on campus, co-oping, et cetera. And I found that the city that I'm from is one of the coolest that I've ever been to. And you really get that feeling and understanding once you're on campus. So those who don't know, downtown Cincinnati is only about it's a short bus ride. It's like $1 bus ride downtown from campus, or it's like a 5-minute Uber. It's really fast and it's really accessible. And to do that also just opens up so many doors for students. So I had the privilege of co-oping at Kroger. I was in their capital management department. Kroger's headquartered downtown, along with, I think, 8 or 9 other Fortune 500 companies. And so you really find these jobs that are available to UC students. And they're not just available, but these companies seek out Bearcats to come work for them. And, these companies are at the absolute top of their field. We're talking about the Cintas's of the world, Procter & Gamble, Macy's was just headquartered here, Fifth Third Bank. So they have all these opportunities for students right, within a 5-minute drive of campus. And there's so few universities that can say that. And there's so few universities that are in a spot with 400 Fortune 500s, you know, kind of just right around the corner of them. And, you know, aside from just kind of the job aspect, the city of Cincinnati has also just been booming. You know, I mean, when I was growing up, even in high school, it's nowhere near to where it is, you know, right now in my 5th year of college. The nightlife is amazing. We have great sporting events. The suburbs area around town are also a really fun place to go. And, you know, I ended up turning down some jobs from Washington, Atlanta, one in New York, because I wanted to stay here. I like the energy. I like that we live in a growing entrepreneurial city, and it's just a really great place to be and a really great place I'm excited to start my full-time career at. So good luck in your college search. It was a super fun time for me, and go Bearcats. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Brian. We truly appreciate it. So now with that, I'm going to turn it over to our 3 honors directors to share a little bit about each of the programs individually. And we're going to start with Melissa Newman, who heads up our Circle of Excellence program. Melissa?
Thank you, Ashley. My name is Melissa Newman, and I have been director of COE for about 4 years, which is really exciting because COE is the newest of the 3 business honors programs. Only been around since about 2014, so 4 of those 6 years I've had the privilege of working with our amazing COE students. In addition to COE, I am on the management faculty, where I teach a variety of management courses. As a business honors program, we are the largest of the 3 in Lindner. We have about 274 students, although we are strategically targeting the objective of becoming a little bit smaller. So our incoming freshman class that just started today is one of our smallest freshman classes with about 45 students. And that's important because we want to become a little smaller in order to increase the strength of the community by allowing our students to build stronger bonds, and I can get to know them better as well. And that's really important because in the Circle of Excellence program, students are truly at the heart of everything that we do. The cool thing about being the newest honors program is that we have the opportunity to continuously evolve. And our student board is really the driving force behind that. We have a very active and engaged student board, a number of specific subcommittees, and they are the ones that are driving everything. I try to not make decisions as director unilaterally, but rather in collaboration and consultation with the students. I want to hear from them and know what kind of programs or events or things do you want to do. If we engage in a domestic program or do a travel program, I want to know the locations that they want to go or companies they want to visit. And in COE, one of the things that we strive to do is to provide a high degree of flexibility. You heard Ayan talk earlier about flexibility in Lindner and why that's important. And that's really critical for us because we're built on the concept of impact. And sometimes when I say that, people think that means, oh, they're going to make me do community service. Well, yes, it's great if you want to do that. That's not what impact means. When we say impact in COE, that means we want our students to come in and we're going to make a difference in the world. You're not just going to come in and go to class and get great grades. That's kind of expected of an honors student. But we want you to really make a difference. And we afford you the flexibility to make a difference in the way that you envision, in a way that drives your passion, where you want to make a personal impact. And that can be a number of things. It can be in COE, or it can be through other student groups. It can be through entrepreneurship. It can be through accelerated grad programs like Brian is in. It can be through community service. It can be starting a nonprofit, starting a new student organization. We just had a COE student start a brand new organization. That's exciting. And what we aspire to do is to give you the tools and the training and the resources that you need to use that flexibility and to forge in your own personal path to make that impact. So as you heard from the students, the ways that we do that are very similar across all of the honors programs. Those include things like experiential learning, co-ops, learning communities, study abroad. We have COE-specific events, programs, networking opportunities, domestic travel. I typically take my freshmen to Atlanta, and I have a number of COE students who, in their first year, have obtained highly sought-after co-ops at Delta because of the opportunities and networking that they have been able to receive through their participation in COE. So regardless of where you land, and that may not even be in an honors program, I can assure you that in Lindner, one thing that we have all in common is that we are a big family. We do a great job in Lindner, we do a great job in honors, Also our affiliate programs like Business Fellows, Women in Business, of really cultivating a family feel. And that's important because we're a big university. I just read today that we have a record size, again, of student population of 46,000 students. So you see, and in Lindner, you get all of the benefits and resources of huge institutions, but you get that small community and family feel. And that's something I think we do better than anyone else. So thank you for your time tonight, and hopefully we'll see you on campus soon as part of our Lindner family. So up next to talk about KBS, or Kolodzic Business Scholars, is my colleague, Ruth Seipel.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Ruth Seipel. I'm a professor of operations management at the Lindner College of Business. And as Melissa said, I'm the director of the Kolodzic Business Scholars Program. KBS, because Kolodzic Business Scholars is quite the mouthful, but our founder, Marvin Kolodzic, is here in the city of Cincinnati, but he also represents a very diverse background of experiences, spending some of his time with a company in Hong Kong. And so we started the Kolodzic Business Scholars. We've been around for about 15 years, but actually been a named program for the last 12. We'll take 40 incoming freshmen every year. And so steady state, we're about 160 to 165 students. We graduate year round. So we'll have some students graduate in the summer, some in December, some in the springtime, depending on what they really want to do. This summer, we just had a graduation event for KBSers, and I had one who was done with the program in 2.3 years because of the amount of AP credit that she showed up with and the degree program that she was pursuing. We've had another one who took 6 years and multiple co-ops, starting her own business. She actually employs students right now as a part of a co-op. So students graduate year round. I'd say the other thing that is characteristic of the Kolodzic Business Scholars Program is we are about connections, making those connections across campus, across our alumni bases, and across the globe. So again, Marianne Lewis spoke about the number of different majors and minors and combinations that you can have access to at Lindner as a part of the UC campus. And that's really encouraged within the culture of the Kolodzic Business Scholars Program. So about 80% of our students are carrying a double major, a triple major, major minor, some kind of combination across campus. Most freshmen maybe are choosing one major, but by the time they graduate, they're going to have multiple majors and minors, and we want to help them put those pieces of the puzzle together as quickly as we can. We also do an awful lot of things internationally. And so last year, for example, of the KBS students, we had 109 study abroad experiences. 20 of those were a full semester abroad. And so students take off and go in multiple places for a full semester, maybe test driving a language that they really want to try and make sure that they are conversational with, or see an area of the world that they otherwise would never have the opportunity to do. KBSers are also involved in co-op. And so again, they may be a domestic co-op, maybe an international co-op, as you heard earlier from another KBS student tonight, but it can be all over the place. And so KBS students are oftentimes, I'll say, like keeping puppies in a basket. You put 2 in and 3 escape and go here. And so they're going multiple places and doing all kinds of things. And so that's an exciting part of what we do. During our freshman experience within the Kolodzic Business Scholars Program, we go to Chicago. Chicago is our largest hub of alumni outside of the greater Cincinnati area. We spend some time in Chicago visiting companies, visiting alumni, and getting that experience for a big city feel. At the end of the freshman year, we take students to Montreal. We'll spend some time up at Montreal because Montreal is the easiest place to visit if you want to go to Europe, but you don't want to sit on a plane for 6 hours. It's a very international city with a variety of cultural hubs all across the city. And so we'll spend time exploring each one of those, casting a vision on where do you want to go. And so most students, by the time we finish Montreal, have an idea of, wow, I could really do this someplace else. I could go and I could spend an entire semester here or an entire semester there. And it's also a part of what you heard Melissa Newman mention about creating family. And so the opportunity to be together in Chicago, to be together in Montreal. So the KBS students will bond during that freshman year, and then we cast the vision wide and say, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? We also have a student board, and so I work with that board regularly, had a meeting with them just the other night, welcoming in our freshmen. I also have an advisory board that's made up of about 20 community leaders and business leaders and some alumni within the KBS program that come alongside us and help us to integrate with that business community help us refine some of the things that we do programmatically. We also get together as alumni. We genuinely like each other and enjoy the opportunity to spend time together as a part of the KBS family. So KBS has been a wonderful opportunity for a variety of students, but all of the honors programs all present great options as well as anything that we have at the Lindner College of Business. It's a blessing for me to be a part of the honors program and teach honors courses. And so the students that are on this call across all the honors programs, I get a chance to know personally. And so we share a lot of that opportunity together, either go into FC soccer games together, or Melissa usually organizes a chance where we go and we spend time at a Cyclones hockey game together. And so that's pretty common for us within the learning community of the honors programs to work with each other and to help each other. So I hope you've had an opportunity to get a feel for what the Kolodzic Business Scholars Program is all about. Let me turn it over now to Raquel Crawley, who will tell you about the Lindner Honors Plus program.
Thank you, Ruth. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am as Ruth mentioned, I am the interim director for the Lindner Honors Plus program. The Lindner Honors Plus program was founded and endowed by Carl H. Lindner, and we've been around. Our first class started in 1999. I'm actually proud to say I'm an alum of the program, so it's very near and dear to my heart, and it makes it special that I get to now sit in the seat I'm sitting in and interact with the students and the alumni and lead the program. Lindner Honors Plus is a 5-year honors cohort program, and if the 5 years kind of throws you off or gives you pause, we have a lot of students, as everyone else has mentioned, that come in with a lot of credit. So we have a lot of students that are graduating in less than 5 years, but at our core, we're a 5-year cohort program. We generally take in, we shoot for 25 students a year in our cohort, and those students become really your partners, and while you're traversing through your general business classes and some of your major classes, depending on majors, they really provide us a support system for you. We're also a mandatory co-op program, so the summer after your incoming year, our students are interning or co-oping. We kind of sometimes, I should say co-op instead of interning. We start doing that the summer after their freshman year, and then at the end of their second year, beginning spring semester, they'll alternate classes and co-op each semester through graduation. Our program is predominantly focused on leadership. So we are created to build business leaders, and you'll see that in addition to our other classes in some professionalism classes that our students are taking, and entrepreneurship, and some extra business ethics classes that we're taking. In addition to, in your second year, the students do a 2-day, 1-night leadership retreat at Camp Joy. I had the opportunity to travel with students last year, and it was a great experience, a great bonding experience, and I think the students really learned a lot and really enjoyed that. Additionally, we have an opportunity to travel both domestically and internationally as part of the program. We spend generally a week between Washington, D.C. and New York City visiting different companies and different government associations while we're traveling to give the students the insight domestically as a cap to their ethics course that they take during the summer of their second year. And we also are able to intermingle with our alumni while we're traveling. I know, and Ruth just spoke, we had, last summer, we had a really great alumni dinner with both our honors programs while we were in New York City, which was a great opportunity for the students and our alumni, and we had some current co-oping students that were able to join us, which was a really great opportunity. The students learn a lot from dealing with and interacting with our alumni and listening to some of our current students that were co-oping and just give their experience. I think having those connections are really what Lindner Business Honors has to give to the students. It's a great benefit, if you will. And then in the third year, they are traveling internationally for about 4 weeks. And that would be the cap to their spring semester, where they're learning in class about the different regions that we're going to and the doing business in different countries, and then we're able to cap that off with the international travel. So when we think about the program, it's definitely a mix of that in-class opportunity and then our experiential learning, both in co-op and domestic and international travel. We have a tremendous group of alumni that make themselves available. We have panels that venture into our business pathways classes for us, and just those connections both within our program and between the Lindner Business Honors programs, as both Ruth and Melissa have mentioned, on top of the Lindner Business College as a whole. It's a really great place to be. We hope everything goes well for you all in your last year of school, and look forward to seeing you. So I'll go ahead and hand it back to Ashley, and I hope this helped.
Thanks, Raquel. We really appreciate it. So hopefully you've learned a little bit tonight. You might even have some questions that have started popping up. So we just ask that you stick those in the Q&A, because we only have one more section before we will get to some of those questions that some of you have been asking. So keep those coming in the chat, and we'll answer those as soon as possible. Let me go ahead and share my screen once more. And I want to introduce you to our newest member of the team, which is our director of our undergraduate enrollment staff. Her name is Melissa Baier. She comes to us from Central Admissions, so we're really excited to have her expertise and background in admissions to really help us and navigate this challenging time. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Melissa to talk about what we're looking for in our candidates. Melissa?
All right. Thank you, Ashley. I am so glad that everyone is here tonight, and I hope that you've been able to learn a little bit about the Lindner College of Business and a little bit about our honors programs. I want to start off with something that's really important before we even dive into some of this information. Some of you may have heard that the University of Cincinnati has gone test optional for the next recruitment cycle. Guess what? Lindner Business Honors is test optional too. And I am so incredibly excited about this because of the next 3 bullet points that I want to talk about. A test is absolutely, if you perform well on a test, it is something that you should be proud of, but we know that it does not tell your whole story. It tells no student's whole story. And so we are excited to be able to dive into these bullet points that are coming up next and find some students who are really excited about the Lindner College Business and about our honors programs. Before I talk a little bit about each of those 3 bullet points, I do want to sort of address one of the questions that was in the chat. One of the questions is, what is the main difference between the 3 programs? The differences between these 3 programs are pretty nuanced, and I think you could start to feel them out if you listen to the students talk about their stories and you listen to Ruth versus Melissa versus Raquel talk about their programs. But what is most important for you to take away about these 3 programs and the differences between them is, as we go through the recruitment cycle, we will find the one that is the best fit for you if you are selected to be a part of the honors program. And so part of the recruitment process, what I'm going to talk about in the next slide, is figuring out which of these aligns best for you. Is it, as Raquel said, that really intense leadership experience? Is it kind of what Ruth was talking about, where we're covering you're someone who has international aspirations and experiences that you are interested in? What is the fit for you? Do you want someone like Melissa in your corner and championing you and helping you navigate all of the resources and being a part of that circle of excellence community? They all have those nuanced differences a part of them. But all of these programs are seeking student leaders. We are seeking students, first of all, who have drive and passion. I think as a high school student, that's probably really intimidating to hear. There may be a few of you, 5 or 10 of you that go, yeah, I got that, I'm good. And then maybe there's 90% of you that are going, I don't know exactly what that means, or I don't know exactly if I fall into that bucket. This is really you being someone who has various experiences, who you've started to explore your passions. Maybe you're really just in the beginning of saying, wow, I studied, I went abroad for the first time in my junior year of high school and I fell in love with it. Or, I'm really learning about business through my part-time job that I work 35 hours a week. So there's those opportunities for you to start to show us your drive and show us your passion. We've talked a little bit about the Lindner community, and it's something that's very important to us. Marianne started out talking about it. Our students followed through talking about it. And then our honors directors talked about it as well. And this is a key part of what we are looking for. We have the opportunity in the Lindner College of Business to be able to shape our class, to be able to bring in students that we believe are going to be the next leaders at Lindner. We want those leaders to be inclusive. We want those leaders to be interested in inclusivity and learning about inclusivity and saying that the world goes well beyond the bubble that we have here, whether it's in your high school or in the city of Cincinnati or in your hometown. The world is so much bigger than that. How can we be a part of that world, be a problem solver within that world? Those are the students that we are looking for. And then finally, yes, academics is important. These students who come into the Lindner Business Honors program are generally speaking in the top 20% of our incoming Lindner class. Test scores are optional. That does not need to be something that you submit, but we want students who have excelled in the opportunities that they have had available to them in their high school. Does that mean if your high school offers 40 AP classes, we expect you to take 40? No. But we have expected you to reach out and to learn about the opportunities available to you, take advantage of the classes that are of interest to you, and to do well in those particular classes. So what comes next? The most important thing that you students in the webinar here that are seniors must know is that you have to complete your application by December 1st. So a completed application means the submission of your common application. It means your high school transcript. It means your test score is not required, and that we recommend, although we do not require, one letter of recommendation. So all of that has to be to us by December 1st. As far as the timeline is concerned there going forward, I believe the University of Cincinnati is still working under the limit of a decision release day, which will probably be about the second week of January, third week of January. But before that happens, we will actually let you know if you've been invited to interview for the Lindner Honors Program. That is going to happen the week of January 4th. Interviews this year will be virtual. So we are not planning on bringing students to campus as we have done in the past. We want you to see our building. We want you to see our faculty and staff, but we want you to be safe as well. So it's really important as a student coming up on 2021, if you're a high school senior, it's really important that you watch your email for that invite and that you stay engaged and that you complete the components of your interview, which are likely to require a recorded engagement as well as a written interview process. So we will provide details with that to students who are invited. And then our goal is always to release our Lindner Business Honors decisions by mid-March, and that typically coincides with the release of UC's Cincinnati scholarships so that you can see all of those opportunities available to you. So up here on the screen, I just want to briefly mention this because I know that you guys are probably having some screen fatigue. We are all having screen fatigue, but this is the best way for us to get new information out to you all. Please check out the webinars that are listed up here and join the one that may be a fit for you. The STEM at UC, yes, there are STEM disciplines in the Lindner College of Business that will cover some of those disciplines as well as other STEM disciplines at the university. And then computer technology major will cover all of the computer programs available at UC, which includes Lindner's information sciences program. Ashley, can I ask you to go back 2 slides really quickly because I want to revisit what can be really intimidating here, I think, for students more often than not. I just recently, I know that if you're not in your high school building, you may be feeling a little overwhelmed about what your college application process is going to look like. I would strongly encourage you to visit the social media of the Common Application. They've been releasing some wonderful information about how to stand out in your essay, what pieces of information to put in your, your activities section of your application and how that's different for every student. We aren't always looking for the student that's president of every club in their high school. We are looking for what you have engaged yourself in and how you are able to tell us your story in your application. So I, again, would strongly encourage you to tell your story, to kind of speak to these 3 bullet points, that you would utilize some of the resources that Common App has put out in their social media and absolutely listen to your high school counselor. So I think that wraps up everything that I have to cover. The last thing that we will say before we start taking some questions here, again, is right now you can't visit us in person. Matt, Ashley, and I are all actually working out of our homes, but we would love for you to visit us virtually. We have a lot of information linked on that website that is up on the screen right now. And then beyond that, you are able to schedule phone call times with Matt, Ashley, and I so that we can answer your questions one-on-one. We really want to get to know you over the next year and support you through your admissions and application process in partnership with our central admissions office here at UC. The question today, many companies only have 20 to 30% of their employees on site. 70 to 80% work from home. How has UC helped in getting students real world experience?
You know, I mentioned earlier how powerful it is that we partner with our employers, that these aren't just people who hire our students. We talk with them all the time. Last week, as example, I had meetings with P&G, Accenture, and EY. I mean, those just happened to be the three last week, but it really doesn't matter the company. We're hearing again and again the same thing, which is as challenging as it is being in class online, working remotely, really what is happening now is an accelerated digital transformation. And what they need from us is to develop you into digital professionals. And that's happening through our career coaches, through the content in our courses. I'm sure I'm talking to some of our students, some of whom might have examples that are on this call. We've seen remote co-ops over the summer that really ended up happening because of very creative digital and remote interviews, networking experiences, and actually ended up being tremendous learning experiences. And I will say also that this semester with our blended learning, we're going to have opportunities for all of our students as well as our faculty and staff to become more digitally professionalized in the work that they do and their skills. So I hope that helps Melissa, because really we're in a remarkable time, but this is something we're talking about and working on daily in our own innovations.
Thanks so much, Marianne. So we just want to round out tonight by saying thank you everyone for coming out tonight. We hope that you've heard something that triggers something that you want to learn more about. We hope to see you virtually very soon. We put in the chat tonight ways to book with the three of us that you see on the screen right now. So we are meeting with families every day talking about their opportunities at Lindner. So thank you everyone for attending tonight. We wish you the best of luck with everything going on. We wish you a great senior year, all of you students. I think there's even some younger students, so have a great school year. And if there's anything that we can do to help, please let us know. We are here for you, and we look forward to welcoming you as Bearcats. Have a great night.